place to go. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the metal man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Keyboard's here, it's time for a party, and Chris has got the comment started. Grab a stack of rock with Mike and the metal man. Grab a stack of rock and hold on tight as hard as you can. Grab a stack of rock. Grab a stack of rock.
Hello.
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 Welcome to the cottage, gentlemen. How are you all doing tonight? Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
We've had some technical difficulties tonight. We are working without earbuds or microphone tonight. And we have no late cam tonight because of the weather. But hey, I'm outdoors.
There you go.
So tonight we are looking at some recent arrivals, I understand. Rob refuses to do an unboxing. He already freed his arrivals from their cardboard prison. And Kevin, I'm not 100% sure what you have up your sleeves.
Excuse me. Record store day
Okay.
things and some thrift store things.
Fun.
All
Okay.
music related.
Well, let's get started, shall we? As you know, no, I'm not freezing, Mom. Look, I've got my grab a stack of rock hoodie on, and I am not freezing. I'm feeling pretty good. As you guys know, we always like to start with a little feature called Ask Harrison, and this episode of Ask Harrison has two questions. The first is a follow-up from the last show that Harrison is going to answer now.
Ask Harrison.
I know people that I don't even know the right words to use, but they take, like, let's say that minifig, and they use something to, I guess, make it naked, and then they paint.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be easier than trying to piece together minifig pieces that either do exist or don't exist?
It would depend on your painting ability.
Yeah.
Now, if Harrison was with us today, I'm sure he could answer that question. But I don't think Harrison modifies his figures in that way. I don't think that he alters the figures themselves. He has modified them in Photoshop after the fact, but I don't think he's ever done any actual physical modifications of the figures. I think he just sources out parts.
Yeah.
And
that's hard to come by. Like, really hard to come by.
He is a man of many ways. Okay, man of many ways.
Many ways.
All right. So yeah, like 99.95% of the time, I don't make any destructive modifications in that regard. Partly because, one, I don't want to. Two, my painting skills are shit. And three, I honestly don't think those custom painted ones look good at all. You can really tell that they've been custom painted. The lines are all shaky. They usually have like variation in depth and texture. I honestly don't think they look good at all. And
I agree. Very few.
Also, I got derailed by a technical pop-up. What was the last reason? It'll come to me. I have, like, on one occasion, I took like a black katana. I was looking for it. It was somewhere here. And I basically got a paintbrush dipped in white paint. I just shook some white paint down the blade to create a dark saber. And that looked all right because I had like a zillion spare katanas. So I wasn't, cut up about doing that. So yeah, I pretty much just source all the parts and composite them together. I've got a fairly good directory of what's available in my head, and I sometimes just Google, like red Lego torso jacket if I need it, and see what comes up, and then, oh, that piece looks good. Where did that come from?
Cool. All right, you ready for question number 2?
I guess I always forget that Ask Harrison comes every time. Mike's like, as you know, we like to start the show. I'm like, oh, yes, that's right.
And then you're like, oh shit, I must go and get prepared for Ask Harrison. Okay, this is one that's been locked and loaded for a long time, as you will be able to tell by the backdrop. Enjoy.
Hey, Harrison, how's it going? You know, there's something I've always been meaning to ask you. How many times a day, on average, would you say you throw a shrimp on the barbie? Do you have it for like all 3 meals out of the day, or just like a couple of them? And do you call them shrimp, or do you call them prawn? Anyway, just something I've always wanted to know. As always, good seeing you. Take care.
Oh, that's good.
No, we call them prawns here. And the answer is 0 times. But I am a big lover of seafood.
Most excellent. I had bacon-wrapped scallops today. So I have a surprise for you, gentlemen. Normally, we would start with Harrison, but today we are starting with a special guest. We're starting with Jen, who has an unboxing to do just for Rob.
Oh,
So
Ray.
let me go tell Jen to get set up, and she will be joining us momentarily.
I am so excited about the unboxing.
You sound it.
Hmm.
But by the way, I knew that shrimp on a Barbie thing wasn't. It's not an Australian thing. It was an American thing, right? Like,
Wasn't that Foster's beer that kind of introduced that?
yeah, it was like a commercial. I think it was a commercial too for Australian tourism, like
That's
to
what I thought.
encourage Americans to go to Australia, and like we'll put a shrimp on the Barbie for you.
And it
That
worked
was-
because in the 80s, Australia was huge. You had Crocodile Dundee, you had Jocko.
Well,
you
I'm
had-
I'm not sure if it actually translated to people actually going to visit Australia.
True, but there was definitely a wave of Australia in pop culture.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Midnight Oil.
I remember the term "how bizarre," was in
How
that
bizarre.
song. Now that's more of a New Zealand thing, is it not? I would say. Oh, you don't know.
He
Okay.
doesn't know.
I always thought that guy
You're
was-
probably not even born when that song came out.
I thought that guy was American. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so we are waiting. There she is. Okay, so please welcome to the show, Mrs. LeBrain herself, with an unboxing. Hello.
Hey, this is the first time on the show.
Second time.
Oh, okay.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, how you doing, babies?
Doing great. Love your Leafs jersey. Go Leafs, go.
Oh, Leafs go. They're going to do it. The next team that loses at home loses the series. So the game 6, I hope.
She's just over in like 20 feet away from me, which is kind of funny. All right, so we're going to let you start with your 2 packages that you're opening. Which
Hey, should I go with the big one first or the little one?
we always start little and go big.
I always start little and go big.
Yes.
Okay, so I got this in the mail this morning. And let's see what's in it.
This morning, eh?
Yeah, that's the mail that I checked. I had a bigger bag already, but this one just came in. So
That
Let's see
packaging
what's in
looks
this girl.
familiar.
Yeah, the packaging does look familiar.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
is that like a charcoal gray?
It is a charcoal gray.
Grab a stack logo shirt.
Yes. Grab a
Very nice.
rock.
Very nice.
Try it on a little later and I'll come back and model.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, let's see the second one.
Okay, the second one. Again, everybody recognizes the packaging bag.
Yeah, I think we do.
Ooh. Let's see what this girl is. Few things. Okay. This
Yellow.
I bought for Michael.
Oh, that's that's right. That's mine. That's
Yeah.
the T-Bone Man collage shirt in yellow. Yes, that's Harrison's Lego art.
Yes, great job, Harrison. You're very
Thank you.
talented.
That's awesome. Then I'll be modeling that later on.
And this one is my hoodie. The
Oh,
front
nice.
doesn't have anything on it. It's all naked.
But
But
that
then-
is the Lego version of the Grab a Stack hoodie. Yeah. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, I'm liking it. It feels warm and it's blue, so not
That is
the
awesome.
right color.
That is awesome. Well, thanks so much, sweetie. Are you going to come back later and show them off?
Yes, I will in the first intermission.
Okay, you just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, you take care. I'll
Yeah,
see you.
take care. Bye-bye. Oop, that didn't work out. So apparently, Harrison, for future reference, when you're in the solo layout with somebody and you remove them from the stream without exiting solo layout, it defaults back to me.
All right.
All right, Harrison, you are up, my friend. What do you have after a long absence from the show?
Yeah. All right. Round 1 of 3. Yes, it was a long absence. I took a wrong turn and ended up on the set of the LeBrain train getting here. But the first one, I decided to pick this up.
Ooh.
I know it's the wrong album because 72 Seasons came out recently, but I got it because it's the 3 CD version. I got it literally just for the track list's on here. Ronnie Rising, Remember Tomorrow, and some of the live tracks, and Confusion from the main album. But yeah, maybe there'll be a few others that'll grow on me, but I'm not holding my breath there.
I like the first 3 songs on that album.
And I did receive.
I don't remember the first 3 songs in the album.
Well, one
Moth
of
into
them's
a Flame
Hardwired.
and Hardwired. Moth into a Flame and
It's Hardwired, Atlas Rise, and Now That We're Dead.
what? Moth into the Flame that must be the Australian print. Mine has Moth into a Flame.
Interesting.
I'm just kidding. I really don't know. There are 3 songs on that album that I like. How's that?
All right. Yeah. Now, I did get a package from Mike a little bit back. I opened that when I got it. But in there was included one.
There it is.
Yeah. Makes the second Maxiax disc I own. The collection is coming along nicely. Now we just need that new album. And there were a couple things from Rob in there.
Yes,
Thank you very
finally, that
much,
Rob gave
Rob.
me a year ago.
Oh, gee, yes. There was this nice one. Apologies about the lighting. It's early morning here in the sun. It's winter. The sun's not as strong as it was. This one's got a really good cover of Samson and Delilah by Shirley Manson of Garbage, not to mention the actual soundtrack itself. And I got this one as well, which was one that I was looking for a while. I'm a huge fan of the show and the soundtrack. Yeah, the lighting's not great, but it's what it is.
It's a great series.
Yeah.
Never
Shame
heard of
it prematurely, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Rob.
You're welcome.
Do you even remember that?
What's that? Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about whether or not Harrison ever got the 2 CDs, specifically the Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Well, Rob, I'll tell you something I learned about the mail, which
yes?
is Harrison's parcel arrived to me in like 2 weeks.
I think it was
Something
just like 1 week, maybe a week and a half. It was
I'm going to say 2, just for the
zippy.
sake of this discussion. And it took my parcel to Harrison took like 8 weeks.
I ordered some Lego from
It costs
Canada.
like $80 to send.
I ordered some Lego from Canada, and it took 3 months to get here. I don't know why, but Canada to Australia.
Canada was weird with mail. It's weird, man. Like everything's expensive and everything's slow.
Yeah.
No lie.
And oddly, like things from Japan to Australia tend to take a little while longer than
Do you want to go
expect.
on your camera again? Or Jen's just going to come out and show you the Grab a Stack shirt while it's on here. There she is.
Hello.
So there's the Grab a Stack shirt.
Here it is. You can't
There we go.
really
There we
see-
go. There we
There
go.
we go.
That looks great.
Yeah, it looks great.
Let's check
You
the back.
probably can't see.
Oh,
it.
and this one has print on the back. I didn't realize. Oh.
I can move my knees.
Oh, no, that's not print on the back, is it? It is print on the back? No, that's just the shirt.
Just the shirt. It's a tank top. Not a tank top. It's a hoodie.
But you did. I thought there was one. I misunderstood. I didn't realize there was print on both sides. I am the dumb cuff.
No, she's got the shirt and the hoodie on.
Okay, so I'm still the dumb cuff, right?
One of the things he said was right.
Yeah.
This is a high stress job, boys.
Yeah.
This is a high stress job. Rob knows. Rob knows.
Lots of
Kevin.
money here.
Kevin's always on with other people. He's always got the Ramvox or whoever with him. You know.
Sure, yeah,
Kevin-
Rambox
Kevin-
was a huge help.
Kevin just sits in the recliner. You don't know the stress of running a show like
There's
Grab
no
a Sack of
stress.
Rock.
Nobody's watching. It's all right.
Nobody's watching.
It's all right.
No, but actually, you know what? Before I do throw it back to Harrison, I just want to point out that Harrison was with us at the very first cottage show ever in the rain, which was May 2020. And now here we are in April of 2023, and Harrison is here at the first cottage show in the rain. So tradition. You know what? I can use some caffeine.
And the last one for this round is this nice little rarity.
Oh, I have this. Yes.
Okay.
This one's cool. It's like on this weird like label that's not his main label, but it's still technically official.
Huh.
This one's got a fair few rarities and deep cuts in it. Black Widow actually gets played in full, not just an instrumental. Brutal Planet there. I think this is the only time he's ever played Brutal Planet, and it hasn't been the show opener.
Well, that could.
You've also got, pardon?
That could be.
Yeah, I think he played it 2001 and 2000, obviously, where it opened the show, and he played it on 2018 and opened the show there. I don't know if he played it any other time. But
this is the Welcome to My Nightmare tour.
Yeah.
And,
I think Orianthe had just joined,
Orianthe.
because this is from 2011, 2012-ish.
And if I remember correctly, this is what you would call an official, soundboard bootleg. And these are frequently sold through the producers of these CDs. Typically, you can pick these up after the show.
Interesting. This one, I think, saw a wider release.
Yes, they all do. Or not. I shouldn't say they all do. Frequently, they do. I have a double live Slash, very similar to this, from his first solo album, the self-titled Slash. With what's his name, Kennedy on vocals,
Miles
Kennedy, very similar concept where it was an official soundboard bootleg, and they were not given away, they were sold after the show, and I got a pre-order, and they frequently show up on Discogs as well. But I believe that's what that is. I believe. Watch, everything I've said is wrong.
Yeah, you also get rare performances of Is It My Body and Muscle of Love. Mm-hmm. And I think the last time those two appeared together on a set list was The Nightmare Returns in 86 or 87. And Clones as well, making a rare appearance. Very welcome there. Wicked Young Man from Brutal Planet pops up as well in a rare appearance. And lastly, at the very end is probably the greatest attraction of the show. It's Arthur Brown's Fire, with the man himself guesting on lead vocals.
I am the god of hellfire.
Yeah, it's a great version. It's probably my favorite version of the song.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah.
And this is from like that era where you get like a third disc with the MP3s of the show on it. So you don't have to waste time ripping your CDs for some reason or something. But you know what bothers my OCD? You see these two green discs and there's a red disc. Well, the MP3 disc is actually this disc here, not the red colored one. It's one of the green ones.
Yep, that would bug me too.
Yeah, annoys the crap out of me. But that's round one.
Awesome. Robert Daniels, over to you, my friend.
My round one, actually comes with a prop. That if you probably, it's my own prop. I've had it for years.
Have a plane?
But I wanted to show it off because you'll get it as soon as I hold it up. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Enterprise D.
Enterprise D. This is the Galoob die-cast metal Enterprise D, which goes perfectly. Unfortunately, I do not have a physical copy because they have not released a physical copy yet, at least on CD. And that is Picard Season 3, the soundtrack to by Stephen Barton and friend of the show, Friedrich Wiedmann. And it's got some fantastic stuff on it. This
Rob,
particular
real quick, refresh my memory. Did Jeff Russo do seasons 1 and 2?
Seasons 1 and 2 were Jeff Russo.
Okay,
and he was music supervisor on this latest series.
Okay,
but no, it was Stephen Barton and Friedrich Wiedmann who did the music for, and did a stellar job, if you'll excuse the pun, on the show. If I'm not going to give any spoilers because season 3 was particularly good.
Yeah, and it just ended.
and it just ended. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, just in case they don't have it in Australia yet, and just in case anybody.
I haven't been watching it.
You know what? I'm gonna give you one spoiler, and that's that I cannot believe that Kylo Ren killed Han Solo.
I heard he dies in Endgame too.
Smart asses.
Yeah, you guys.
Well, to bring it back to that amazing soundtrack, my favorite part of the soundtrack is every time when they would show Amanda Plummer's ship. I'm bad with names, so I don't know. But every time they would show,
it would be the Shrike. Yeah.
Every time they showed her ship, they would throw back to the motion picture and have that big tong sound. That was just so cool.
That actually, I believe, is the official blaster beam that was used in Star Trek: The Motion Picture and that sort of thing. A variation on that.
Did we talk about the blaster beam during the Black Hole show?
Yeah, it's actually been used in several places, and just recently I discovered that it was actually used in V: The Final Battle.
Oh,
I've had this for years, and all of a sudden I'm listening to it and I go, wait a minute, that's a blaster beam. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, this was reason why this is handy is this was my show last week.
Oh, that's right, it was. Yeah.
So
cool.
So that's my first round.
And then we are back to Kevin on his second appearance here. Now I have a quick question for you, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the Lego art of yourself that Harrison made.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Rob.
Sorry, I have a quick question for Harrison. Actually, where does he source his torsos and heads for the for his Lego figures?
I buy some from Target, the new sets that come out as they come out. But secondhand pieces are usually from this site called Bricklink, which is sort of like Discogs for Lego bricks.
That's cool. No,
I have ordered from the official Lego store as well. I don't know.
They've got their pick a brick thing. That's good for getting, lots of just like generic parts in bulk or current minifigure pieces. But if you want to go back to like a 10-year-old minifigure or something like that, you have to find,
Okay, so sorry. Back to Kevin.
I apologize, Kevin. I didn't mean to step on your.
Oh, no worries.
On your
I'm just wondering. I haven't heard any thoughts from you about your Lego configuration.
Not enough hair.
Here, you know what? I'm going to remove all of us for a moment
Sure,
so we can see the backdrop. We'll do that for a couple of seconds and bring everybody back.
Okay.
Well, what do you think of yourself, sir?
I kind of look like Aaron.
No, you have a completely different shirt. Completely different shirt. He has a white shirt.
I see. Okay.
Now, did you read The Adventures of T-Bone Man that John T. Snow wrote, the Mars mission one?
I think so. I think I was buried.
Yes.
Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you are definitely a recurring character at this point, just so you know.
Okay.
And The Adventures of T-Bone Man will be heading into season 2 or phase 2. Actually, we're calling it something very original.
Okay.
The Multiverse Saga.
Do you have the showrunner from season 3 of Picard working on it? Because that guy deserves a medal for bringing that show out of the cesspool that it was. All right. So we're doing 3 rounds. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, let's do 3. I got 3 things. Let's do it.
Okay. So I went to a thrift store. We have a nice little thrift store here in Sudbury, Ontario. It's actually run by Pet Save. Which all the proceeds of this little thrift store goes to the puppies and the kittens that need food and shelter and all that stuff and find homes and all that. So in this little thrift store, they have CDs and they have some vinyl records. I'll split up the CDs that I picked up. Normally, I don't pick up as many CDs, but I went there and this rarely happens. Somebody actually dumped out of their blues collection. And so there was a ton of blues CDs there, which you don't see many blues CDs up here in Northern Ontario. A lot of heavy metal, a lot of Tony Bennett, but not too much blues. So a lot of them are compilation blues CDs, but there's some gems in here. So first things I found were Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is the Chess Rhythm and Blues stuff. These came out in like the late 80s. So you have like all sorts of different rhythm and blues. Like the Chess label was known for blues, but they did have some rhythm and blues artists on there. So I don't recognize any of the names. I don't know any of the names, but you probably know some of the songs if you played them. So grab that. Blues Masters, Urban Blues, Volume 1. So like a lot of these were coming out in the late 80s and that because as CDs were taking over, they were just trying to crank out a ton of content onto CD. So a lot of these are like singles and that from blues artists, but you got a ton on here like T-Bone Walker and Muddy Waters and all sorts of good stuff on there. Some guy named Chicago Beau and Friends. I have no idea who
I've
he
never
is.
heard of that.
Cool.
No.
Me neither, but it looked cool. That looks like a blues guy. And these look like blues guys.
Plus Chicago. You got Chicago.
And it's Chicago. And so, yeah. And then Billy Boy Arnold. I think I recognize that name. Maybe I do. I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, I always think of the Ruddles. There was the bluesman, Blind Lemon Pie.
Right.
Yeah, always lying.
He's always lying.
There was some jazz in there too. So I got some John Coltrane.
I would love to get that album.
The Love Supreme. This is from 1965. It's only got 4 tracks on it. So
I don't own any Coltrane, so I need to rectify that with a Love Supreme.
I have not either, and the CDs were only $2 there. So what the heck? Etta James. This is like a best of Volume 1 kind of thing.
I have a best of from Jen's mom. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's a few best ofs out there. Like I said, like this was like right when 1988. This was right when like CDs were coming, so they were just pushing out like a ton of compilations out there.
Of questionable quality at some points, but
sometimes, yeah. But this is like actual chess labels.
Are you guys hearing that squirrel, by the way?
All I hear is Gimli.
Okay. There was just like an amazing squirrel.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off and feed the cat. I will be right back.
Sure. I got the best of Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. I do have a couple of their things on their albums on vinyl. So these two are always great together. This is Alligator Records. Is a blues label in Chicago, and they're more of a modern label. So on here you got Coco Taylor and Little Ed and the Blues Imperials. So they had like a 20th anniversary celebration, and they had artists come in and do a show. And this is some excerpts from those shows. So 2 CD set, and Alligator Records. Oh, Lonnie Brooks is on here too. It's pretty cool. And Alligator Records.
They just look cool.
Good.
They look cool.
They do, and they were always a cool label. And the one other blues thing I found, I've been actually looking for this for a while. This is John Mayall, Jazz Blues Fusion. This is a live album recorded in Boston and New York.
Boston.
So,
Go Bruins.
You got those things on there. So yeah, I've been actually looking for that for a while. I'm gonna find it for $2. I mean, I wanted to find it on vinyl, but what the heck?
I would like to point out that Rob Daniels' chair is Boston Bruins.
Oh yeah,
black and gold. Yep. I'm cheering for the Bruins, which drives Jen nuts. But
I didn't want to say anything while Jen was here, but I kind of find it fun that the Leafs keep losing. I'm not a hockey guy. I don't have a dog in the race, but it's kind of fun to keep that tradition going.
I know.
It's like I understand that like you all want to see him win, but I kind of like how long can this thing just keep going?
Kevin, I can only say so much if I don't want to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be putting you in the middle of that.
No, that's quite all right. I can just lay on a no comment. I have a parcel here that came from, I think, the same company that Jen's parcel came from, but it's not a shirt. It's a notebook.
Oh,
there we go. I bought myself the Grab a Stack of Rock notebook.
Cool.
Yeah.
Spiral.
I thought it was going to be a lot bigger.
Well,
but that's nice. It's going to be my cottage notebook when I need to make show notes for upcoming shows. going to be using this.
Cool.
You should get a T-Bone Man equivalent as well, so you can make T-Bone notes as well.
Harrison, I don't do any paper notes with T-Bone Man. I do straight into the computer. But when I do show notes, when I'm doing like research for interviews and crap, I actually do handwritten notes like Deke does. I guess it's just a reason being is when I'm writing T-Bone Man, I'm being creative. I'm listening to my music and I'm typing. But when I'm researching, I'm reading on the computer, and it's easier for me to make notes physically rather than go from one screen to another on my laptop.
You tend to just smash it all out in one go, don't you?
When I write a T-Bone Man?
Yeah.
I do. It's a hell of a way to spend a morning sometimes because it leaves me just completely wiped for the rest of the day. But you've seen the results for yourself sometimes, if I do say so myself. Anyway, that's all I have for round one. And, I'm not going to flog these shirts and stuff too much, except for, where to find the address. It's at MikeLodano.com. You just go there and you go to the About page, and there's a TeePublic link that you can click. It'll take you to the Grab a Stack of Rock show. And for those that are listening, sorry, I was just going to say, and for those that are listening, 35% off for the next 48 hours. There you go. And of course, if you don't like Grab a Stack of Rock, that's fine because there's Visions in Sound. Mm-hmm. You can go to visionsandsound.ca and check out what Rob has. If you choose between us, like hockey style, he's the Bruins. I guess that would make me the Florida Panthers. I don't know. I'm taking this.
I was going to go old school and say the Chicago Blackhawks, but
I don't know.
That would just show my age.
I'm literally talking out of my bum here because I really know nothing about hockey. I pretend I talk a good game, but I don't know. Anyway, this brings us back to my Australian compatriot, Mr. Harrison Kopp. What do you got for round two?
All right, this is all from one Discogs order, and we're going to be starting with a couple of soundtracks. The first is Judgment Day.
Continuing with a James Cameron Terminator theme.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rob, do you know what label this was on originally?
It only ever came out on Varese.
Okay, so that's what this is on. No, it's just because I never saw Varese before. I was like, what is this? Some sort of strange European reissue or something?
Nope.
But no.
So, just a little quick history here.
Okay, so we're gonna
go ahead. Finish up, Harrison. Sorry.
That's all for Terminator, but I've got a few more. We all have the Terminator history now, I think.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You guys just work it out between yourselves. I'm staying out.
All right. Another soundtrack. On this one, I saw there, and I was like, I haven't even seen the movie, but I'm just like, I remember this one when we discussed it, so I'll get it.
Have you seen the movie since?
No. I've seen every other
that 4K version,
the
new one, right, Kevin?
That's actually a very unique sound. That's a very unique soundtrack. That second disc is especially if you're like a Star Trek fan, you'll like. Sound is fairly decent on that.
Yeah, I think this was the one that you showed off when we did the Star Trek show. It's the 2 CD version. Yeah,
there's a I won't, because you get me started and I'll talk for an hour. I will simply just say I'll wait for my turn.
Okay.
All right. Now, most Iron Maiden tribute albums fall into 2 categories: half decent or just filled with death metal bands. But this is one of the half decent ones. This is this group of guys like Steve Overland, Steve Grimmett, Paul Di'Anno, Doogie White. They cranked out a zillion tribute albums across the early 2000s. But this one I picked up was a Maiden one. I picked this one up because it's got 2 of Doogie White's songs. It's got Hallowed Be Thy Name and The Evil That Men Do. And the interesting bit about that is I'm pretty sure Doogie White was in contention to be the replacement singer for Bruce until he got snapped up by Ritchie. So it's a nice piece of alternate history there. It's also got some of Paul Di'Anno's re-recordings. Yes, Paul Di'Anno appears on Iron Maiden tribute albums singing songs that he first recorded with the band.
Ozzy Osbourne appears on Black Sabbath tribute albums.
Yeah. I saw Hank Marvin on a tribute to Hank Marvin and the Shadows before. So that's not a halfway bad.
Now,
album as far as they go.
When you said Doogie White was in contention, I believe the story, according to Maiden, goes that Blaze came in and they just felt that he was the better fit. That's the official story, anyway.
Yeah, there's no like final say on it, but I think people like Kiss and Doogie White were sort of like getting close to the end of the process. Sort of, it was like down.
Oh, I think it was between Doogie and Blaze at the end.
Yeah, and then Richie got Doogie.
Richie Blackmore.
Yes. Now another couple other soundtracks. This is, I think, the last soundtrack for this lot.
Ooh, Alien 3, nice.
And Alien Resurrection.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
I like both of these films. I like the assembly cut of Alien 3 a lot. I like Alien Resurrection for the first 2/3. I want to get the extended cut. I have the extended cut of 3.
Wait a minute. You like the assembly cut of Alien 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the extended version with a few different scenes.
Oh my God. It's so boring.
Yeah, but you think Star Wars died after 83.
Yeah,
we can't trust you.
Oh, yes, you can.
Oh, God. Have we ever had you on for a Star Wars show, Kevin?
Oh, I wouldn't do it. I would just be a pill.
We had the ranking of the movies. Now, something interesting with this. What does this like?
That's a promo. That's a promo punch.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Oh,
yeah, that's so you couldn't scan it at retail.
Right.
I thought it was for the remainder bin. Like they couldn't sell enough. So
a lot of those ended up in remainder bins. It could be either. It could be either, actually. But typically, I saw a lot of promos where the barcode was destroyed.
Yep.
In order so that you could not scan it. So that was my immediate assumption.
Interesting.
Black Magic Marker was another way that they would deface a barcode for a promo.
Well, it didn't stop someone selling it to me secondhand.
And that's fine. I fully endorse that practice.
Yeah. I also picked up an Alice album. A pretty good one too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The collection continues to grow.
Gosh, that's such a good album.
And another such a good album. My favorite Queen live album.
Wow. Good for you.
I like Live Killers, but it's not live, so I really can't call it my favorite.
I don't actually listen to Live Killers all that frequently.
I love Live Killers.
It's got the only live version of Don't Stop Me Now, so it gets a lot of points for that.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I only played it on the jazz tour, I think, which is a shame.
Yeah.
I also picked up this, which has got to be one of the greatest debut albums of all time.
Kim Wilde, really, eh?
I mean, yeah, you just look at the track list and it's just hit after great song after hit for pretty much the entire track list.
I only know America.
Yeah, this is the American version that front loads it with Kids in America.
That's the only song I know.
The original album opened up with Water on Glass, which is the second track here, and Kids in America was like 4th or 5th, but because it was a huge hit in America, I think they Americanized the album. As they
does that have Keep Me Hanging On?
No, that's from their third or it's not from her first two. Because my father's got a compilation which is just her first two, and it doesn't have that one on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the entire reason that I've got all of this is because one of my Grail items, I was like, well, I have a salaried position now. What's it going to take to buy this? And it turns out not a terrible amount. And this was also the first Discogs order I made. So I sort of held off for as long as possible because I knew as soon as I had a Discogs account, I'd be spending on there. But this Concrete Blonde live in Brazil.
I've never seen that, Harrison.
Yeah. The only full-length live album from the band. It was released in 2002 and recorded on the last night of their tour for the album they were touring at the time. So Jeanette Napolitano actually mentions that they're including a few tracks that they didn't usually play for this night. And you can see that there's a nice matter. It's not like a career-defining live album because it wasn't recorded on, say, a hits tour. It was recorded, just touring. So there's a lot of stuff on the album, but it's a wonderful snapshot of the band, and we don't really have much live stuff out there. In fact, this cover art was actually done by Napolitano herself. So now across these 3 CDs, I have every live version of God is a Bullet that was officially released.
Good for you. That's a quest.
Yeah, this one is only available on the Australian tour edition of this album, so this is the rarest of the bunch.
Yes, I remember you showing that off prior.
What?
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's only because Sarah has that album.
Yeah, this is the Australian tour edition of Bloodletting, and it's got an exclusive live version of God is a Bullet on
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's not available anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
It's got 3 other live tracks that made it onto the version Mike has, but the 4th one, God is a Bullet, somehow, for some reason, didn't make it onto the version Mike has, so it remains exclusive to this.
Oh, I thought I had a rare CD for a second.
Well, if you have the Australian tour edition, then you do.
No, I don't think so.
I'd imagine that's quite rare. And now this last one from this lot, I saw it and I had committed to buying it before even looking at the price. And Mike will probably understand why.
The Sultans of Ping FC. Casual sex in the Cineplex.
But that's not all, because...
Oh, Japanese with Obi strip.
Yeah.
Harrison.
2 extra bonus tracks. There's He Thought I Was Your Best Friend and... Which one? 13. Japanese Girls for Shonen Knife.
Japanese Girls was a fairly common B-side, as I recall.
Yeah. So before Mike's 2018 reissue came out, this was the version of the album with the most tracks.
That's cool, Harrison. Now, why did you get that version instead of the 2 CD?
Because I was scrolling through what this seller had on Discogs, and I saw this, and I was like, I'll take it.
So now, are you hearing a lot of these songs for the first time?
Yeah.
2 pints of Raza.
Where's my jumper?
Where's me jumper? Yeah. Okay. I applaud you. The other 2 guys are like, what in the hell are they talking about? All I can tell you, Kevin, is my brother knows Karl Marx. He caught him eating mushrooms in the People's Park. He said, what do you think about my manifesto? Like your manifesto. Put it to the testo.
Wow. That rhymes.
That's the opening lyrics of the song "Where's Me Jumper." Where
also, everyone in
about a guy who lost his sweater dancing at the disco. He lost his sweater. It was a brand new sweater.
I'm riveted.
There's a really long story to go with it, but the short version is when we were opening up the Cambridge location of the record store. The Beat Goes On in, I believe it was 1996. We opened up that location. They found this CD in the incoming inventory that had to be shelved. It was just bought in bulk, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're like, what the hell is this? They kind of look punk. Like they look like a cross between Blur and the Sex Pistols. So they put it on. And it's this ridiculous Irish, I guess, punk band. I guess you'd call them punk. Yeah. And it's really ridiculous, upbeat, fun stuff. And they kept playing it over and over and over again. And they made a pact. No one in the store was allowed to buy the CD. It was there for them to listen to, and it was not for sale. So one day the boss said, this is ridiculous, guys. We can't have inventory that's not for sale. You have to put this out for sale. And the guys were like, okay, but nobody's going to buy it, so we can still listen to it. It'll be okay. And then they hired a new guy by the name of Ian Light, who I'm still friends with today. Ian Light, the new guy, comes in. They're playing this on his first shift. And he goes, I'll buy that. And there was nothing they could do about it. And for the longest time, like before everybody was on the internet and Discogs and all these other things existed, that was the only copy of the Sultans of Ping FC that any of us had ever seen. And it eluded us for years. So that's the significance of that purchase.
Should have put the price on it, like $100 or something.
Right.
You know, like Amazon does
now. Yeah, like Amazon does now. Yeah. All right, Rob, it is now your turn.
Yeah. So just very quickly about Terminator. Yes. You were asking about different variations. I don't know if you're a fan of the original Terminator, but this one here is partial score with the songs, which is very rare. I've
been looking for that version.
Haven't seen it for a long time. If you find it out in the wild, which I have seen, pick it up because it is worth it. This one actually turned up at a Star Trek convention that I was at years ago, like in the 90s. So that tells you how long ago it was. And this came in, and Mike will know what I'm talking about when I say the long box.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin will know too.
I wish I still had that. Yeah. Now this one here is a more common version. This was released 97. And then the one you're talking about, which is the one that you from Varese, which has the maroon spines and that sort of thing, was the definitive release of Terminator 2 until this one was released. Now it has the exact same program as this as the Varese does, but it's the sound quality is a little better, not much. Brad Fidel has gone on record saying that if you're expecting to see an expanded version of Terminator 2, don't expect it, because there are people out there that have actually gone through note by note and reconstructed it online, but he's not going to be releasing an expanded version anytime soon. At least the way what I have heard. So the Terminator Varese is your best choice right now for Terminator 2 music, if that's what you're looking for. So my choice that isn't Terminator is actually, I don't know if I showed this before, but this is a signed copy of The Offering by Christopher Young. Now, Chris Young, some of you may know as the composer of Hellraiser. And this is his latest, if you'll excuse the pun, offering soundtrack wise. So this is really good. This is some really good stuff. And I got it, and I got the signed copy. It's one of those kind of gifts to myself. I was like, well, no one's going to know who Chris Young is unless and then I get it signed. That's cool. So yeah, this for me is a cool second choice for the show tonight.
Cool.
I have a question for Rob Daniels.
Okay, and I will have an answer.
That first Terminator CD you held up, you said it was a partial score with songs. What does that mean? Is that the Back to the Future soundtrack?
Similar to that. The songs you've got on here are like you've got me burning, the stuff that the tech noir songs and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
By people like Tawny Kane and Triangles, which I've never heard of before. Now it turns out that one of the songs on here, I think it's Photo Play, was actually written by Joel Dolce.
Wait, what's the matter, you?
What? Yeah, shut up, you face.
Wow.
The same guy.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. When I first read that, I was like, I know that name, Joel Dolce. And he's like, okay.
Immediately it hit me. That's Shut Up, Your Face.
Yeah, Shut Up, You Face.
Have you ever heard that song, Harrison? Shut Up, Your Face. It was a very popular hit in the very early 80s.
Yes.
What's the matter, you? Hey, why you looking so sad?
It's not so bad.
It's a nicer place.
Shut up, your face.
It's kind of like
she said it all the time.
It's like parody of Italian culture.
Yeah, it wouldn't fly today.
No, actually, even though it's the most lighthearted, inoffensive thing in the world, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Somebody would be offended.
Anyway, and I have the 45 somewhere, but I don't know where it went.
I downloaded it off LimeWire years ago. All right, Kevin, it is your turn.
Well, I'd like to dedicate this time to tell you why the Alien 3 cut that Harrison likes is so bad, because the alien comes out of an ox instead of a dog. And then all the people are looking for a dog. It makes no sense. Why aren't they looking for an ox? It just doesn't make sense.
Because the dog is important and it must be saved.
It's been so long since I've seen either cut. I remember there being an ox. I remember there being a dog. I remember there being a lot of people that are bald. And
it's got Pete Postlethwaite in it.
I know, but at that point, like, I had no idea who Charles Dance or any of these people were. And it was like trying to keep them straight in my head was very difficult at one point. And I love Pete Postlethwaite, and he was very unique looking, which is a benefit to remembering his character. Anyway, I don't remember hating it, but I also don't remember ever ending that movie thinking, boy, I really feel like watching more Alien movies.
I like the original Alien 3, like the original cut, because it doesn't go too long. It cuts it off right at the
It
right
doesn't
point.
overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
all versions. I just wish they fixed the ropey CGI in the chase.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that was what year did that movie come out?
93.
93. Yeah.
92.
92.
Assembly Cut came out later though, so they could
Yeah.
have gone back.
92.
Oh,
They
look at
could have
that.
fixed it. 92.
Is that a
You have the
button, Rob?
evidence.
That is a button that I went up to the this was Mike, you'd know the theater, the Highland Theater that's now the
Yeah.
Apollo.
Is that the one that the Highland? Is that the one that's across from St. Mary's?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this came from the snack bar attendant. I said, what would it take for you to part with this button? And she said, not much. It's yours. And I said, cool. Okay. So
Not many people like Alien 3.
Well, you know what? When I
like it
first
better
saw,
than Alien Resurrection.
when I first saw it in 92, it was a bold choice by Fincher and the writers to kill off two of the big characters.
Yeah.
Spoilers for those that haven't seen it.
Oh, don't worry, Rob. It's been 31 years.
Yeah. So for me, I felt it was a bold move. It actually inspired my editing style. I was in college at the time, so I watched this and I was kind of analyzing how it was edited, and it really influenced my later editing style when I was doing my final project for college. So yeah, it's kind of I won't say it's a guilty pleasure, because I do actually appreciate it for what it is, which is a what could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And the assembly cut, I have a tendency to watch it a bit more than the original, but the original still holds that place in my heart for watching it. But yeah, Alien 3 for me is a worthy part of the Alien saga, even though it has some huge problems. And but the score by Elliot Goldenthal is incredible. Just from a I mean, you went from Jerry Goldsmith to James Horner to this basically unknown Elliot Goldenthal, and he knocks it out of the park.
Yeah, I've always liked the soundtrack to 3.
Yeah, it's for me.
The Resurrection main theme is really good too.
Exactly. I actually interviewed John Frizzell at the Toronto International Film Festival a number of years ago, and he signed my copy of Alien Resurrection. So I like it. It's a good score. It's a good score for a mediocre Alien sequel.
Yeah, I can't watch it. Alien Resurrection is.
I was going to say, Rob, aren't they all after Aliens mediocre at best?
No.
I like Alien 3. Alien Resurrection, I can take it or leave it. It does have probably one of my favorite scenes where they basically, she throws the basketball over her shoulder, and she actually did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good. Yeah. Do you guys think?
Sorry.
And sorry for hijacking, but real quick, do you guys think that the clone Ripley's in Alien Resurrection in any way inspired the clone Snokes in Rise of Skywalker?
They're Fox, so you got to figure there's probably a little bit of a crossover.
I mean, that's a pretty iconic scene when you think of Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
So I think they're well aware of that scene. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, we could do a whole thing on.
Yeah, we could.
I mean, really, that was the part. That's really the part where they lost me when they made Ripley a clone, because then they could do absolutely anything, And the whole point of these movies is that you're watching human beings go up against these incredibly powerful aliens. Yeah. And now that human beings can just clone other human beings, like, who cares? They're just fodder. Just build some clones and throw them at the xenomorphs. I don't know. Anyways, back to music. Okay, so the other stuff I bought at the thrift store, Best of the Doobies, the Doobie
Oh,
Brothers.
nice. Hang on,
I
let's
have
do
this
it.
on vinyl, but it's all scratchy. So, the heck. I bought Sarah this Stone Roses album.
Wow.
It's the
Oh,
second
the first one. The first one. Yeah.
No, this is it the
Oh,
first
no.
or the second?
No,
I think
I
it's the
don't-
second. 91 this came out?
Or is that a B-sides compilation?
92.
I don't know.
Turn
You know
to
what?
the
I should just
Stone.
stop talking.
I really don't know anything about them. I know that she has the one from 89 and this one's from 92. That's all I know. Because when I logged them in, that's what I remember.
All I can tell you is that their second album came out in the late 90s and was called Second Coming.
Oh.
I think that's a B-sides compilation. I think.
Oh. Well, what do I know?
No, I don't
okay,
know.
well, it's the second album that we have in our collection. The first one was from
Chronologically,
89
yeah,
and this
yeah.
one's from 92. So if
Gotcha.
it's not an album, okay. I also got her the Sound and Vision Bowie thing.
Nice.
David Bowie. She's more the David Bowie fan than I am. And I thought, oh, Sound and Vision one. I guess I'll have to find the rest of the Sound and Visions. But then it's
part of that box set.
It's part of a box set. Yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll find them. But Sound and Vision. Right? Who do we know that has the Sound and Vision thing? Somebody. I don't know a thing about this guy, but I hear things. People talk about this artist. I haven't listened to this CD. I probably should to know if I like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Murder Ballads. I hear good things about that album.
Okay, so see, I hear good things too. I don't for $2. I said, what the heck?
Well, you know, Metallica covered one of his Murder Ballads.
Did they?
Yeah, Lover
Oh,
Man.
is that him? He's
Yeah.
the Lover Man guy from.
Pretty sure. You know what? I'm not actually sure of anything tonight.
You're
I'm
not
getting
sure
old,
of it. Well, this one, I'd be surprised if you're not sure of this one, Mike, because this is right in your wheelhouse. This is a solo guitar player that had an album, and we talked about the band that he was in just earlier, not too long ago. Any guesses?
Ace Frehley. No, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't buy an Ace
How long ago
Frehley.
were we talking about this band?
It was one of the bands that Harrison.
Oh, one of the bands.
Not who I thought it was going to be.
Okay,
James Mankey. Oh, Brian May.
Look at that, Harrison.
Oh,
right
Back
on.
to Life.
Back to Life.
Good
To be
album.
fair, I've got Queen Rock Montreal sitting here, so
There you go.
I was prompted.
Good album.
And it has an extra bonus song on it.
Yeah.
All right. So I've never listened to it, but what the heck? $2. I like Queen. I like Brian May.
I love Queen, and I like Brian May a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the one more. I've been looking for this for a while. I got myself a copy of Joni Mitchell Blue.
Yeah.
Why not? For $2. There we go.
Where
So
is this thrift store?
In Sudbury, Ontario.
Okay, I know, but I'd be willing to make a trip. to
Well, come
Sudbury
on up.
just
I
to
can't
see.
guarantee you they'll always have stuff like that. I've gone there. I mean, I moved here in October. I've gone there probably at least a half a dozen times. And this was the first time I came away with something like that.
Cool.
You know, sometimes come away with one or two, but it was just the right time, you know?
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Let's see. That one. Okay. I wish Tim Derling was on tonight for this unboxing because this is a band I think that he likes quite a lot. And none of you guys are down with the hair metal
White Lion?
that me and Derling are.
As in like When the Children Cry.
When the Children Cry, Wait,
Yeah.
Tell Me. This is a 5 CD box set.
Wow.
Featuring all of their studio albums, and I believe they are remastered. Fight to Survive, it was not, I can't remember what label these guys were on. I think they were on Warner. Fight to Survive, though, was an indie release that came out before Pride. And I'm kind of surprised to see it boxed with this, but, you know, the rights can be licensed, they can be acquired.
Mm-hmm.
All You Need Is Rock and Roll was one of the signature tracks on Pride. I stand by this band. The guitar player, Vito Bratta, you guys might be aware of Vito Bratta, but he never did anything after White Lion. He disappeared off the map. He had a sick mother that he had to take care of, and he's a recluse, I guess you would say by some standards. But what a talent. A lot of people compared him in style to Eddie Van Halen. He did have similar techniques in common, but I think they're quite distinctly different. And of course, Vito Bratta was not the innovator that Eddie Van Halen was. He just used a lot of the same techniques. But I think Vito also did a lot more sort of neoclassical licks in his solos. I think that this band is underrated. The bass player, James Lomenzo, well, you guys know him from another band called Megadeth, so he can't be a slouch. And the drummer, Greg D'Angelo, was the drummer in Anthrax before Charlie Benante. So, you know, there is some credibility to the musicianship here, but people remember the big hair and, you know, the pouting into the wait, I never had a chance to love you. You know, that's what people remember. And I get it. Anyway, I'm really excited about this. There are bonus tracks. None on the first album, Fight to Survive. On the second album, Pride, we get an edit version of when the singles cry, an edit version of When the Children Cry, an extended version of Wait, an LP version with intro edit of All You Need Is Rock and Roll, and then you have a short version of All You Need Is Rock and Roll, and an edit version of Tell Me. So sounds like a lot of stuff that I really, you know, I could have lived without. Nothing on Big Game, nothing on Main Attraction. And then we have CD5 Live, which is, as far as I know, basically completely unreleased. 16 tracks. So I'm happy. That's my turn. Over to you,
All
Mr.
right.
Australia.
So this was a second Discogs lot. This was from a Japanese seller. So the first one to show off is this nice little thing. This one's got a lot of big names on it.
Wait a second. What
Yeah.
the heck? Was there a bonus track on there?
No,
Okay.
it's the same track list. You know, it's Ronnie James Dio doing an amazing version of Welcome to My Nightmare. It's
He sure
Bruce
does.
Dickinson doing the Black Widow, which I'm sure he's relishing. The Who singer, what's his name?
Roger Daltrey.
Roger Daltrey.
That's the one. Yeah, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Dee Snider
That's
does
almost
a
as bad
great
as when you
Go to
said
Hell.
the Rush bassist.
The Rush singer, yeah. Glenn Hughes does Only Women Bleed. Dawkins on one of these, I think either Under My Wheels or 18. Oh, it says the band that they're from. So, Dokken. Oh, yeah, Def Leppard is Under My Wheels, Phil Collin. Or Joe Elliott. I can't remember which one's the singer. Anyway, I'll stop embarrassing
So
myself.
what is the advantage of getting the Japanese version of
There
the
is
pack?
none in this case. It was just a Japanese seller, and I'm just going through saying, "Oh, I like that. I'll have that. I'll have that."
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, there's only a few things here actually have Japanese bonus tracks. Next up, doesn't have a bonus track, but it's Bruce Dickinson's favorite Peter Gabriel album.
Mhm, sure
I've been
is.
looking for this for a while, so when I saw it, I was like, "Yep, I'll take that."
That's
I like this
amazing,
one.
Harrison. That's beautiful, man. That's awesome.
Gimli
I'm,
agrees.
I,
Gimli
that is
agrees.
my favorite thing that you've shown so far, man. Gimli agrees.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just awesome.
What album is that?
I think that's 3, isn't it?
3. It's his
Otherwise
third
known as Melt.
self-titled. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise known as Melt.
Okay. I have Scratches. That's one I have.
That is the album that basically inspired Bruce Dickinson to make Balls to Picasso, his second solo album, and the one that caused him to leave Maiden.
Ah,
Blame Peter Gabriel.
thanks, Pete.
It's Peter Gabriel's fault. Technically, it is Peter Gabriel's fault because I don't
Well-
think Dickinson would have been motivated to make that album.
Well, without Peter Gabriel, then we wouldn't have Blaze. So thank you, Peter.
Nor would we have Marillion. So,
Hmm.
all right, well, you
All
go
right.
ahead.
Now, this one, I finally paid attention to the track list.
Oh yeah,
17. You
Beauty.
can't see it, but there's 17. There's a number
That's a
17 there. So
That's
that's
a lot.
Clones, that's $1 Billion Babies, that's Better Nails, all the ones that weren't on the domestic version. And technically Under My Wheels if you live in America. So, because they got one less song. Now there are a shit ton of Iron Maiden singles that this seller had, and I could have spent a lot of money on them, but I sort of resolved, all right, I'll take one and not overspend. And the one I chose was this one
nice.
because it has the two sort of B-sides, I guess you'd say, extra tracks are from the Ed Hunter tour. They're Aces High and Wasted Years, and I think this is one of the best live versions of Wasted Years out there.
I agree.
I really love the Ed Hunter tour set list. I'd love a proper live album. So that's why I chose this one. And Out of the Silent Planet's not bad either. Is it a common thing to do to display the CD singles with the picture facing out the back?
That's the way that they used to come packaged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way they came in the shrink wrap. You know, I can't believe, I don't think any of those guys from Iron Maiden thought in 1999 that they'd still be the same lineup 24 freaking years later. Like that's incredible to me.
Yeah.
I'm happy though, like don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I picked up this soundtrack mostly for the Jarvis Cocker and the 3 songs that were done as the fictional band the Weird Sisters.
Yeah.
But the soundtrack, the score itself is pretty good.
Yeah. It's my favorite non-John Williams score out of the series. That's Patrick Doyle. And Patrick Doyle just is one of my favorite composers. So yeah, good stuff.
My favorite scores are probably this one from Patrick Doyle, and Nicholas Hooper, I think, does Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
All right. I also picked up, I know Mike's not very fond of this man, Post Maiden, but I picked up probably the best album from Paul Di'Anno's solo career. This is in 1992 or 3. Is there a year here? 92. He basically formed Killers and, went real heavy. And this is a pretty good album
covers that he's done.
Pardon?
One of the best album covers he's done. He really looks like he's trying to do Rob Halford in that photo right there. That's total Rob Halford circa Painkiller. Total.
Yeah, I like the album cover, and it continues. If you fold out the liner notes, there's similar artwork. Is this the right way up? There's a poster of a character there and a smoking gun. Yeah, I like this album.
That was sort of his last real kind of attempt to be big again.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's probably the best studio album he's done in his entire solo career. The second Killers album didn't do too well. Then Killers broke up. Then he reformed Di'Anno for an album that didn't work, and then he turned into a Maiden karaoke singer.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
you gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, after Maiden, he really tried to strike out on his own. In '84, he toured and didn't play a single Maiden song. But eventually, the crowds, the heavy metal fans, they just wore him down, and he got to a point where he's just been cranking out Maiden songs on live albums and tribute albums since. But I did pick this one. Does have a Japanese bonus track. Well, it's technically not a Japanese bonus track. It's the limited edition bonus track. You can get it on English editions too. There was a lot of different covers of Attack of the Clones. Yeah. There's one with Padme and Anakin and stuff. But yeah, naturally the Japanese has the bonus track. It's On the Conveyor Belt. It's the last track.
That I don't have. So I'm very jealous at this.
You have the Jango Fett cover.
Oh, I do have the Jango Fett cover, but I do not have that On the Conveyor Belt
nor
bonus
do
track.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that.
One of my goals is to now that I have all the Star Wars soundtracks, I want to see about the different. I mean, that has Japanese variation text on it. So I'd really like to get that.
Yeah. Harrison, nice job scoring so many Obi strips, because that's not always a guarantee when you buy secondhand Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only one where the seller explicitly mentioned the Obi was this one. I think every other one he said no Obi. So
half the time they say no Obi, but it's actually tucked into the booklet.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised.
I got to go kill this lighter. It's going to keep going off like this.
Yeah. No, I'm actually surprised that you guys don't have On the Conveyor Belt, because it wasn't just on the Japanese. I think the Padme version of the cover, because there was an English limited edition version with the bonus track On the Conveyor Belt. It's not just exclusive to the Japanese.
I guarantee you, I don't have it.
Yeah. What I find interesting about the Attack of the Clones soundtrack compared to the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack is the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack is it only includes music that was made for Revenge of the Sith. It doesn't have anything from the other films except in the credit suite. Yeah. But with Attack of the Clones, you get the Imperial March and Duel of the Fates at certain points. So I think it's a real shame that Revenge of the Sith is strictly Revenge of the Sith, because as good a soundtrack as it was,
Very
it
nice.
definitely benefits from the other. So yeah, I know how to spell episode 2 Attack of the Clones now in Japanese.
That's something that you might need one day.
All right, so my second last one, I bought the X Factor again.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Mike can probably guess why.
The Japanese with the bonus tracks, 3 of them.
Yep.
One of them exclusively on CD in this edition. Otherwise, you have to buy
Yep.
vinyl.
Yep, that's part of the reason I got this.
Also, the
it's
massive
the only
extra
reason.
booklets, the 4 booklets that it comes with.
Yeah, plenty of booklet. What's interesting about the cover art of this Japanese version is that it's actually slightly different. It's got the black bands at the side because it's in the fat case, but it's also, there's like a white outline around this box.
No.
Because, let me see if I
I
can
didn't
get
notice
my
that.
domestic edition of the X Factor here.
Oh, you're right. I see it. I see it.
Yeah, for some
100%.
reason, it's a very slight difference, but
Oh,
I
I
noticed
see
it
it.
immediately. I'm like, hang on, that doesn't look right.
100%.
I don't know why they did it, but is what it is. Now, this last one, I'm not a betting man, but I'd be pretty safe in wagering that most of the people watching and in this panel will have no clue that it exists. It's from 1992. There is a Terminator link. Now, I bought this sort of just to prove that it existed, because it's something. Let me just get something. There are some things I buy just for the historical value. Where is it? I've got another one.
Oh yeah, it
somewhere.
exists, all right.
Yeah. No, I've got it in my hand here. I'm just looking for something else that I bought for the same reason. It's basically I bought the Spawn soundtrack to have that abominable remix of from the Bell Tolls.
Right.
Just for that, because I
Why?
wanted to prove it existed and have it. Now
Oh,
this
Oh,
What?
interesting.
What? What?
in
Oh my
1992,
goodness. My wife had such a crush on young Eddie when she was a kid.
in 1992, Edward Furlong released an album only in Japan. I do have the
Wow.
movies.
Did you know this, Rob?
No, this is actually kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
not sure who wrote the songs, but Edward is the one singing lead.
Ah,
He's not a
okay.
very good singer, but he's got backing singers. There's a cover of "People Are Strange" on here. There's a
wow.
Christmas song.
I
And then
wish
there's
we
a
could play music on here.
Me
I
too.
There's
wanna
a
hear
collection
that.
of other songs. Yeah, it's
Wow.
the only reason I found out about this is because I was looking on his Wikipedia page for something, and I just suddenly saw this one throwaway sentence. In 1992, Edward released an album only in Japan called "Hold On Tight." I'm like, hang on, let's look at this. And then I basically, I bought it just to have it, to prove it existed. The liner notes are weird. They're filled with pictures of Edward like posing. He
Yeah,
sings
all
about
his
love and-
headshots. Yeah.
Are you sure that
It's-
fan didn't make this?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is
This is like some girl.
really bad.
had a
Honestly,
crush on
this is
him.
really
Yeah,
bad.
this is ooh,
Uh,
really weird. They were
Yeah.
he's
Wow.
singing about love, and he's like 14 years old. It's not, but it exists, and I own it just to prove that it existed.
Wow.
And
That's- I'm sorry, that blows my mind.
I think I'd be pretty safe in saying that I probably have the most unique music collection in Australia.
With that, yes.
Yeah, this is just one part of it, but yes, that's all I have for today. I was pretty sure most people here wouldn't have a clue that existed.
I had no clue that existed. So
Eddie
when I
Furlong,
saw that,
did
I'm
you
going,
even have a clue that
is
it
that
exists?
real? I mean, the first question out of a lot of people's mouths would be, as Mike said, is that a joke? Is this a or was it Kevin that said, is this a fan made?
Yeah.
Is this a
Like it
fan-made
almost does
thing?
look like a fan made thing. Like they took all of the pictures out of Teen Beat magazine.
Yeah.
No, it's
now,
on
now I'm interested in seeking it out. Seeing
the
if I
record
can
label
find
is Canyon International, but it was only
I've heard of
released
them.
in Japan, so not very international.
Yeah, Canyon is Japanese, I believe. Yeah. Cool. Oh, I just
Oh.
heard a beep and we have a surprise. It's John T. Snowman.
Ah, Snowman.
John.
How are
How's
you
it
doing
going?
tonight, John? I like your shirt.
We're learning things about 90s child actors.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Great, great.
Good.
My jaw's on the floor after hearing about Ed.
You saw that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Had no idea that existed.
Yeah, there's lots of actors like Michael Chiklis and Robert Downey Jr. They've got albums.
Yeah.
Michael
Michael
Chiklis
Chiklis.
is actually quite recent, from like 2019 or something.
Wow. Now I knew about Don Johnson and Bruce Willis, but
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That is just crazy. So John, thanks for stopping by. I love your shirt.
isn't that great? Yeah.
I've got dark blue.
So
That's awesome. Thank you for wearing that tonight. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Are you here to show us anything?
Yeah, I just did.
No,
Oh,
just
okay.
imagine.
Okay, no, I was just. Do you mind if Rob and Kevin go first, or
No,
you
go right
or you
ahead. I
stick
just
around?
thought I'd come in and say hello. And then
Alright.
if y'all wanted me to show some of the new stuff,
I do. I definitely want to see one thing of yours. One.
just
that
one.
There's one specific one that I
Okay.
want to see.
Okay.
Oh. Jennifer compliments you on your color choices this evening, John.
Well, it's definitely not because of the Leafs, but that's okay.
You don't mind if Rob and Kevin go first?
No,
Or you-
go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, Rob, over to
right.
you, my friend.
Well, this actually came about my next choice came about rather interestingly. I was doing a bit of an online search because I knew that the an anniversary was coming up for this particular animated show. And I often wondered, because there was an album for this soundtrack that was released a number of years ago, and it's kind of since gone out of print. So when they announced that this was coming out on 6 LPs, I went, well, I don't necessarily like picking up LPs because I can't really play them on the show without being with the way the format of the show goes and that sort of thing. So I was happy to hear that they were releasing it as a 3 CD set. So when Mike, you contacted me and said, "Oh, we're doing something about threes kind of thing," and I went, "Okay, so this is coming. I hope it gets here on time." As soon as I said that, it said it's being shipped. So I thought, okay, now the race is on as to whether or not I get it. Now, Harrison will probably have never heard of this show. Maybe a lot of people have never heard of this show, but it was huge on MTV for a while. It was an animated program, and I'm taking it out of the cell wrap because I did free it from its cardboard prison earlier.
Yes,
but I don't know. Mike, you probably know this one. I'm thinking maybe Kevin might know this one too. Aeon Flux.
Oh yeah,
I have heard of it, but I'm not.
I've never watched
I've
it.
heard of
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah, it's this was where this is the Korean animation that that inspired the movie essentially. Now I have not listened to this. I haven't opened it. I just opened it now, so I have no idea if there's any like special artwork and stuff inside. But yeah, it for me this was a no-brainer. It's just it's a very bizarre character, but the animation and just the way it's presented, I mean, you can tell that the Matrix was influenced by it in a huge way. The music for it is unique enough that I'm in fact doing a show at the end of May in regards to just this release.
Okay.
I just recently found it on DVD, so I'm looking forward to kind of rediscovering it again. But yeah, this for me was a no-brainer, and it was released on Waxwork Records.
Okay.
So a lot of times, okay, I want to put things into perspective. A couple of months back, I don't know if you guys are familiar with a show called Final Space. It's on Netflix right now. Okay. In any case, the creator of the show was had exclusive signed posters that he wanted to send out. And I said, "Oh, I got to get one. So the poster was $20. How much do you think shipping was for a poster?
Oh, geez, 40?
80, Bob.
$30
Oh,
Okay.
I went over.
for shipping. And I said, no effing way am
Yeah.
I paying more for shipping than I am for the poster itself. Guess how much shipping for this was? This is a 3 CD set
From where?
from Waxwork, which is in the States as well.
$20?
$6 for shipping. And I said, yeah, the CDs itself cost I believe 30 and shipping was 6, and I went, yeah, sold.
Cool.
So yeah, I could not believe that a poster $30 for shipping. It's like, what the hell? Anyway,
You wouldn't believe the big Lego sets what they cost to ship from the
Yeah.
I can
States.
imagine.
I remember when I was working at the record store, we would place orders every week from the supplier for CDs, right? And you would have to specifically tick the box, no promo posters, because if you requested promo posters, that increased your shipping costs so much.
Yeah.
So,
I don't get that.
No.
I remember back in 2003 getting a pack of Matrix Reloaded posters. I still have some to this day. I got 150 of them. And the shipping cost on those posters was insane. I didn't pay for the shipping. It was nicely sent to me by Warner Brothers, but I ended up getting a whole bunch of other stuff too. But the posters were insanely insane when it came to the shipping costs.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the States, they have something called media shipping, where shipping stuff like any source of media, like from vinyl records, VHS tapes to DVDs, Blu-rays. John probably knows this, and they get you get like it's cheaper. It's much cheaper to ship it under media, but anything that like a poster or something like that, it's considered something different.
It's insane.
Yeah, and don't ship a calendar. Someone sent me something. They sent me a tour book, and they did it through the media way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they open up mail every now and again and verify it. There was a calendar in the back of it, the tour book. And so they said this was a calendar, and they charged extra for the shipping. So I got refunded from the seller, but still, it's like crazy. But yeah, normally CDs and stuff, you can ship across the States for $3.
Yeah.
Or less. Yeah.
Unlike Canada, it costs you at least $12 to send something from like one CD from here to Vancouver would be $12 easily.
Yeah, for me to send something to Canada, it's usually $20-$30.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, which is, I have a couple things I want to send one day, but I'm waiting to find enough stuff to send.
Just wait to make a trip up here. You'll save yourself a few bucks.
Yeah, probably would. Anyways, Kevin, it is your turn, my friend.
Okay, if you guys follow me on social media, you've probably seen all these already. These are my Record Store Day pickups. I have not participated in Record Store Day for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Partly under protest because of how terrible Record Store Day
Tell me about it
is, and partly because of the pandemic. But up here in Southern Ontario, it's very competitive. People like line up, the day before, camping out in chairs, the whole bit, just to get these things, and then they just turn around and sell them on eBay or whatever. But up here in Sudbury, not too bad so far. I showed up like a half hour before the store opened, and I was only like 10 deep, and I got mostly what I was looking for, from what he had, I got. So I was looking for there was a lot of blues albums that had come out. I didn't find everything, but I got myself a copy of Howlin' Wolf, Live and Cooking at Alice's, and the revisited version. I don't know why it's revisited, but yeah, this was just a live set that he did in the 70s. So it's kind of got like that funky 70s sound to it, which I like. I didn't even know this was out. I just saw it on the shelf and grabbed it. This was a UFO double.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Best of UFO, the last. So it's like a best of compilation.
No, I missed that one.
2-disc set, and it's really cool. I'll take out the vinyl for the color stuff. So yeah, this is like This is the vinyl right in here, right? So you got the see-through window. So yeah, so you pull it out.
Very nice.
So unfortunately, it comes in these like that's your sleeve kind of thing. But I guess they did that to make it.
I don't like those.
No, well, it's not like those '80s ones, though. It's a different material.
Yeah, I see
Like,
that.
you know,
Looks
those-
flimsier.
Yeah, like that crinkle '80s stuff that I'm not a huge fan of. This one's a little different, but they did it like so you could see the record through there, you know. But it's okay. It's anti-static, like you could feel it like going on there. But yeah, so yeah, it's a nice set. I'll show you the other record. It's same colors but reversed.
Neat.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. So, you know, Deke has been talking up UFO there for the last, I don't know, few years.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, what the heck? Finally sit down and give him a listen. I got BB King, Blues is King.
Well, I know Aaron would approve of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is so there's 3 live albums that are BB King Essential. This is one of them. You need this one, Live at the Regal and Live at Cooks County Jail.
I miss the days when records came with liner notes on the back like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the standard. Liner notes on the back like that.
Yeah, that was the way it was done.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've definitely gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Got myself the Black Keys first concert that they did when under the label the Black Keys. These two had performed together before, but this was like their first show as the Black Keys.
Cool.
Just a short set with you know, 8 songs on it, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. Then it's got like that little bit of overmodulated sound to it, which is, I don't know, it works for that band. Sarah, this isn't a record store day thing, but she just found the soundtrack for The Commitments.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
Oh,
Very
nice.
nice.
So she picked that up. Oh yeah, soundtrack guy, Rob. There you go.
Yeah.
I found a Billy Joel. This is a double live album from 1975. Really cool vibe to this. It's just him at the piano. He does like his band does come in and back him up, but like it's mostly just him, like just riffing. It's not a very big crowd there, so you know he's just like riffing with the crowd and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. He does a cover of Joe Cocker's song. You Are So, I think he does You Are So Beautiful. Yeah, You Are So Beautiful. Does it and then breaks into a Joe Cocker impression, which is pretty fun. And then like a few songs later, he starts playing Benny and the Jets from Elton John.
Really?
And the crowd just like, oh my God, he's playing Benny and the Jets. And then he just stops. He's like, yeah, that guy doesn't play my songs. And then he plays something else. It was such a good little tease. So fun here, something like that. And then finally on Record Store Day, I got Miles Davis Turnaround. This is another funky 70s.
Love
jazz.
the artwork.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I could not pick it up without grabbing that.
Brilliant.
And I believe
Brilliant.
the vinyl's got a really nice color to it too. Oh yeah, here's the sleeve with some more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That would be a beautiful piece of art hanging on your wall.
Yeah. And the album is good too. Sarah thought it was a little too all over the place, but I liked it.
A little too all over the place.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's not like you know, staying into one. You know, jazz. You go.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
explore,
No, I
right?
think I get what you mean. I think I've
Right.
heard Miles that is exactly what she's describing. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, jazz. You explore when you're
Yeah.
jazz. You're playing. She didn't like that.
Gotcha.
One more thing, just before we go.
Yeah.
This isn't a Record Store Day thing. I did find this at that Pet Save thing, and I found the Blues Magoos electric comic book. Yeah, and because you were just talking about the back cover, so I thought I'd show the back.
Oh,
cover.
that's great. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, it was weird. Like this Pet Save, like they mostly have, you know, your Engelbert Humperdinck and countless classical records, and then there was sitting an electric comic book by the Blues Magoos. I'm like, where's that from? So
And I love the
played it.
caricatures on the back. That's so brilliantly vintage.
I played it, and it's a fun album. It's you know, it's kind of garage rock with that Beatles kind of sense of humor on it. The record's not in the greatest shape, but this would make some good wall art, anyways.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
So there you go.
That's awesome. All right, Snowman, right here, right now.
All right, so I have a few record store day things as well, but luckily no repeats.
And you got
Yeah,
lucky,
imagine that.
man. You got seriously lucky.
So I got the Van
There it
Halen.
is. That's going
Right
for
here.
$300 Canadian right now.
Now, honestly, I could have grabbed that and I passed on it.
Yeah, it's 4 LPs. So it's got what, 4 gatefolds?
So that's
3.
like a quadruple gatefold?
It is. Well, it's a tri.
Wild.
Yeah. So
I mean, don't you think that's going to be released? Like that record store day version will retain its value, but like, don't you think it'll be
it
released? as
says
just a
it's an
regular?
exclusive.
Hmm.
And
I
it's
want
just
those
black
damn bonus
vinyl,
tracks.
so it's not a special. No, these are red. So yeah, there'll be a black vinyl one probably.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah. So this was a good pickup. It does sound better than the original album.
Now, what are the bonus tracks?
The bonus tracks are "The Dream Is Over,"
Right,
Eagles
that wasn't on.
Fly, and "Mine All Mine." So
And
you get
I think Eagles Fly and Mine All Mine are on the single for Jump, but The Dream Is Over is not on anything except for maybe the live DVD, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But we've talked about this, and we think this album may have been remixed as well.
It was taken from the original master, is all it says.
Yeah.
It didn't say if it was remixed or anything. And I don't know if I have the label. I have the label, the sticker, but it's down inside the thing. But I got to find something to put around this because I can see this getting messed up.
Yeah.
It's a really thin lip right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little worried that could get messed up. But and it did get some little, because it was packed so tight in the wrapping, it bent the corners a little bit. And that's from the wrapping and not from anything that anybody did.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, I mean, I'm not going to sell it. So,
Nah, yeah.
yeah.
You could keep the albums out of the sleeve, like
That's
that's
true.
supposed to help.
Yeah, which will
from-
probably do that once I can find a plastic, cake cover big enough, because it's pretty thick. It's not going to fit.
No,
the
that
cover
is
size.
huge. That's a bigger record than I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's more of like a box set than anything.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful set, and I'm so jealous.
And then,
However, I may have a line on one.
well, hopefully you get it.
Yeah.
And then when I was in line to buy it, I'm up by the cash register, and I looked to my left and I looked down, and then I found this.
There it is.
That's
Van
awesome.
Halen Destruction in Dallas from 1982. It's a bootleg, so it's a heck of it's 2 LPs, great set list, and it's got 3 demos at the very end. And if that wasn't enough,
Ha.
he also had 1978, another Van Halen bootleg. This one's just a single disc, and it pretty much has almost the entire album, the debut album, basically on this one.
Wow.
It's a great show. I mean, both shows are great. I was just stunned at how well it sounded. So, yeah, and if that wasn't enough,
It keeps going. It keeps going.
they had this Kiss bootleg there too, Alive in Amityville from June 1973. So this is 6 months or more before their debut album.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's got 2 songs that I did not have before, and one is called Life in the Woods.
Yeah.
And the other is Simple Type. I can see why they didn't make any of their albums, but still, really cool to have these early tracks.
Now, I do have Simple Type, and that was a Wicked Lester tune. Like, I have the Wicked Lester version of it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, that's probably, I do have that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other song, Lost in the Woods, I've never heard it. Now, sometimes bits of these Kiss songs end up in later songs. Is that the case with Lost in the Woods?
Yeah, Life in the Woods. I
Or
haven't
Life in the Woods?
researched it yet.
Okay.
I'm planning on writing it this weekend.
All right.
So I'll, Kiss, I'm going to write up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then I did get,
If that wasn't enough.
I still have more from Record Store Day, but
Well,
I
you know
got
the one I
Eric
want to
Carr.
see. There it is. That's the one I wanted to see.
Rockology.
There it is.
So I love the fact how they did this in the style of the Kiss solo albums.
Yes.
And there's also a poster inside. I have not opened this yet.
Which is also the same as the Kiss solo albums.
Yeah,
came
which is
close.
exactly the same style and everything. And then this album's been out before, but this one has 5 bonus tracks.
Yeah.
That are not on that one. And I love the Fox makeup and then the splatter vinyl, orange and white. And there's a CD.
Yes.
Which I did not get the CD until today on eBay or on Discogs when somebody posted it for $15 when everyone else is posting it for $100.
And then you messaged me that moment, and I bought the next one.
Yeah, there were 500, only 500 on the CDs were made. And so the people are selling this $15 CD for over $100. And
Some of the songs aren't bad. Some of them are not bad.
Oh, they're not bad. And the record store in France must have had 10 copies, and he sold them all.
Yeah, very quickly.
Because it's record store day, he's a vinyl store. He could only sell them probably for the $15.
Yeah,
where everybody else is resellers doing it. So
did you see the official Eric Carr store though? Like the official Eric Carr store had stock that was sold out immediately, but they were selling the CD for $100 and the vinyl for $150.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
I got a quick story about that Eric Carr album if you got a second. So when I was at the record store on record store day, it's a very small record store. He doesn't have a lot of space in there, so he only had so much wall space. That's where he puts all his new records. So he had all the record store day stuff out on this wall space. And I was grabbing stuff, and Sarah was like looking and grabbing stuff, and the guy would like come out periodically with like a handful of stuff and start putting them up on there. And every time he would do that, I'd be like on the other side of the store, right? And I'd have to worm my way back there to see it. This one time I was there, and he comes out with like a handful of stuff, and I'm like trying to look to see what he has, and he's like start putting it. And I'm not a Kiss fan, and the Kiss fans just find a way to irritate me all the time. Some freaking Kiss fan comes up to me and says, "Do you have that Eric Carr CD?" And the guy's like, "You mean the record?" He's like, "Yeah, the Eric Carr. You got the Eric Carr one?" And like the guy was like, "Okay, well, just give me your name and I'll go look later." He's like, "Oh, I can only be here for a couple of minutes." I'm like, I'm trying to look and see what the guy has in his hand, and
you don't go to record store day to only be there for a couple of minutes.
The guy was so flustered, he didn't know what to do, so he's just like, let me just put the records down and let me go look for the Eric Carr thing. And of course, he didn't have it. They only had like 2 copies in the store, and the owner told him it's like 2 of them went like right away. They were the first things gone. Anyways, that's my Eric Carr.
That's funny.
Story.
Yeah, I was afraid I wasn't going to get it because I actually went 30 minutes earlier than normal. So I'm there at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh God.
The line is ridiculous. And the place I go to, the line, I'm usually 10th in line.
Yeah.
But I was like 30th or 40th. And then when I looked back after about half hour more, the line was just another 30, 40, 50 people. So I'm thinking, there's no way in heck I'm going to get what I want. And I got everything I wanted.
Yeah, that's good.
Then the 3 bootlegs on top of that.
Wow.
So
yeah, those bootlegs are awesome. That's what I'm stealing from your house.
Yeah, and your damn snowman army isn't doing a thing.
Harrison doesn't have to worry. I'm not coming over to his house to steal anything, but I'm coming over to.
I have a natural moat defense.
Oh, that's fine.
That's funny. And a squirrel. All right. Well, I'm going to take the final turn then, and then we will say goodnight. But my last show was actually on Grant's Rock Warehouse. He's doing a series on bands that one and done. One album, and that's it. So the last band that we did was the Neurotic Outsiders, which is Duff and Matt from Guns N' Roses, plus Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, and John Taylor from Duran Duran, which is an interesting combo. And they put out, I guess, what I would call like a punk rock album. And I found out as I was doing my research for Grant's Rock Warehouse that there's a deluxe edition, or did Harrison or somebody note? It was Boppin. Boppin noted, you guys know Boppin. Boppin notified me. He sent me an email. Don't buy the Japanese edition of the Angelina single because the B-sides are on this deluxe edition that I think was issued in 2022, I think. Anyway, there it is. I didn't know it existed. I had no idea that this existed, but here it is. The Neurotic Outsiders debut and only album, self-titled, and it's great. I love this album. It's freaking awesome. And there's the extended track list featuring the bonus tracks Spanish Ballroom, Planet Earth, and Seattle Head. And then you get the clean version of Jerk as well, which was pointless because clean versions are pointless. This is a great album, guys. Seriously. And if you don't believe me, check out Grant's Rock Warehouse. We had a great time talking about it. Apparently, the original name of the band was Neurotic Boy Outsiders, which we figure is why the album cover is as stupid looking as it is.
Yeah.
That's a neurotic boy, I guess, and he's an outsider. So, yeah, I'm very, very happy to get this. This is from a 1996 release, and I had been kind of hunting for those bonus tracks for a while. They're only available outside of this on a Japanese import, and this is good. I got it, and I can't wait to get this home to where I have a CD player, because we don't have any CD players at this in this location. Well, thank you so much. Oh, it's
He does not like to be
Chandler. Mr. Chandler.
Chandler likes to be held. Joey does not like to be held.
And where's Ross on this evening?
We only have Chandler and Joey. We didn't do a Ross or a Mike.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that lost opportunity, maybe in the future. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I always like to do a quick roundabout and talk about what we got coming up. So, Harrison, you got your usual
Zippo.
Yeah.
Nada.
Zilch. Rob, you got a show tonight.
Yeah, tonight is the 40th anniversary of War Games.
That's right.
The 1983 film. I have a little extra special edition that I'm revealing here for the very first time. I was able to track down the composer of the direct-to-video sequel called War Games: The Dead Code, which was done in 2008. And so I have some exclusive tracks being played tonight on the show from that soundtrack.
Oh, cool. So catch that at visionsandsound.ca. You can find all the details there.
Yeah, and you can also listen to me live on 98.5 CKWR or CKWR.com.
There you go.
At 12 to 2.
Kevin, you've recently ripped through the Coney Hatch first 3 albums.
Yep.
Are you going to do Coney Hatch 4? And I saw that you've also done the odds. What's next?
I don't have Coney Hatch 4, so I don't know if anyone has Coney Hatch 4. But so I don't know. I'm open. I don't know which direction to go next. I have a bunch of Neil Young. I have Saga. I have
Saga.
Yeah, I know John's a huge fan of Saga. So, what else do I have? I can finish off the odds. I have Sloan. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do next. So, it's open.
And John T. Snow, you're still working on Jeff Scott's Soto.
Still working on him. I've only got 7 more left to review.
Wow, I can't believe this journey's almost over.
When did you start that?
I started it the first week of January of 2022. I've done one a week since, and it will wrap up sometime in July or August, because I've got like 4 or 5 already written, and then only 7 more to write, and then I have a concert with Soto on May 13th, so I'll have a review for that one as well.
Wow.
You're a machine.
And then I've got a lot of Kiss reviews coming up. I've got a lot of Whitesnake stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Series that I did years ago that I'm still adding to them. So, and then I'm going to start a new one that I know Kevin is super excited about.
Oh yeah, the old
Bon Jovi
DJs. Bring on BJ.
Coming soon post on when that one's going to start soon.
BJ coming soon.
Yeah.
Cool.
Everybody loves a good BJ, right? Yeah.
Funny. I had a series that I did in 2019, and I've just written a new chapter for that series that we'll be posting probably this coming week. So there you go. Old series resurrected. All right, boys. I'm going to go out on a song. What should we hear tonight? What are we in the mood for? Well, Rob's here. Let's do A Vision in Sound, shall we?
Sounds good to me.
All right. A Vision in Sound by T-Bone Erickson. Have a great night, guys.
See ya.
Ciao.
See ya.
Welcome, Nighthawks. We've been expecting you. The hour's late, but the party is just getting started. I'm Alistair Kovacs, your host for a sophisticated little soiree with jazz, stimulating conversation, beautiful ladies, more jazz. Look, it's Charlie, sincerely one of the best white non-union jazz pianists in the entire city, top 5. Charlie, play some of those notes you know I like.